Resul-i Ekrem ve Nebi Muhterem sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem Efendimiz Hazretlerinin aziz, pak, münevver, mutahhar ruh şeriflerine salavat-ı şerife getirenlerin ahir ve akıbetleri hayrola. Âle ezvacı, tahiret evladı, Resul-i Savcın Efendilerimizin, sair enbiya ve Resul-i Kiram hazıratın erva şeriflerine, pirimiz Bilal-ı Habeş radıyallahu anh Efendimizin, mihmandar Resul-i Kibriya, Eyüp Sultan Halid bin Zeyd Ebu Ayyub el-Ensar radıyallahu anh, Şah Mürşidan Şeyh Hacı Muhammed Naksibendi el-Buhari, Mevlana Celaleddin el-Rumi, Mevlana Ziyatun Halid el-Bağdadi, Sahibulzaman, Kıbletil İslam, Şeyh Sultan Mevlana Muhammed Nazım el-Hakkani, SahibulSaif, Şeyh Abdulkerim el-Kibrisi Rabbani Kaddesallahu Esrarum hazıratın ervahı için. Hademeyl Harameynü Şerifeyn, Yavuz Sultan Selim Han, Ebu'l-Fetvel Maazi Fatih Sultan Mehmet Han ve Serdar-ı Hakan Sultan Abdülhamid Han cennet mekan. Firdevs-i aşiyen hazıratını ervahına ve amn-ı inayetine. Alel husus bu caminin bainisi ve bugüne kadar içerisinden gelmiş geçmiş. İmam, müezzin, kayyım ve cemaatinin ve kahve el imanın ervahı için. Allah rızası için el Fatiha.
Allahümme salli. Amin.
Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. İnnallâhe ve melâiketehu yusallûne alen nebî.
Sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
Ya eyyühellezîne âmenû sallu aleyhi ve sellimû teslîmâ. Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala ali seyyidina Muhammed. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber.
Allahu Ekber.
Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber.
Allah.
Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya ale's-salâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Hayya alel-felâh. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah.
Seyyidina Muhammed Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem. Elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillah. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecmain. Nahmedullah Teala ve nestağfiru ve neşhedü en la ilahe illallah vahdehu la şerike leh. Ve enne seyyidina Muhammeden abduhu ve habibuhu ve resuluhu sallallahu aleyhi ve ala alihi ve ezvacihi ve ashabihi tabi'i hulefai raşidin mahadin min ba'di. وزعمتي على تحقيق عزا منهم على الأميت خلفاء رسول على تحقيق أمراء المؤمنين حضرات أبو بكر وعمر عثمان وعلي وعلى باقي الصحابة التابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين يا أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون اتقوا الله تعالى فإن الله حمى الذين تقوا الذين هم محسنون الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praises are due to Allah, the Lord of the universes. All praises are due to Allah who says in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, unto Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. And Allah is sufficient as defender. If He wills, He can remove you and produce others in your place. Allah is able to do that. Whoever desires the reward of this world, let him know that with Allah is the reward of the world and the Akhirat. Allah is ever hearer, seer. O you who believe, stand out firmly for justice as witnesses for Allah, even though it be against yourselves or your parents or your kin, whether the case be of a rich man or a poor man, for Allah is nearer to both So follow not your hawa, your passions, lest you slip from the truth. And if you slip or fall away, then truly Allah is ever informed of what you do. O you who believe, believe in Allah and His Messenger, and the book which He has revealed unto His Messenger, and the book which He revealed before. Whoever disbelieves in Allah and His angels and His books and His messengers and the last day, he verily has wandered far, far astray. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. May all peace and blessings be upon the Imam of the messengers, the rider of the Burak, the master of the Mi'raj, the one who passed Sidratul Muntaha, the one who was at a distance of but 2 bow lengths or even nearer. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anh is saying that he heard the Holy Prophet ﷺ say, for the person who reads Salawat Sharif, I shall be his intercessor on the day of judgment. May peace and blessings be upon him and upon his noble family and upon his blessed companions, especially upon the 4 Khulafa Rashidin, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, Hazrat Umar al-Faruq, Hazrat Osman al-Ghani, and Hazrat Ali al-Murtaza, and all those who follow them until the last day. May peace and blessings be upon the Shaykh of this Nakshibendi way, the guides of the caravan to the divine presence. May peace and blessings be upon the Osmanlı Padishahs who defended Islam, who preserved Iman, who nurtured Ihsan, who established an empire of Sunnah and Adab and Tasawwuf. May Allah honor those who love them. May Allah humiliate those who hate them. And may Allah hasten their return. Amin. Ya ayyuhal mu'minun, O believers, we have entered the 3rd Jumma of Rajab Shahrullah. Next week will be the last Jumma of this holy month. And a few days after that, inshallah Rahman, we will enter into the holy month of Sha'ban. O believers, we should not be wasting time. As the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, take benefit of 5 before 5. Your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before you are busy, and your life before your death. And the prophets of Allah speak the truth. These are the days that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted to us for us to gain, not to lose. These are the days that He has given us the opportunity to step on our nafs and our hawa, and He has made it easier on these days. As our master SahibulSaif, Shaykh Abdulkerim al-Kibrisi Rabbani Qadasasir is saying, wake up to yourselves. We don't know if we are going to reach to another Rajab. We should not make plans for another Rajab. We should be living this Rajab like this is your last Rajab on the face of this earth. Then you'll put some senses to your head. Don't look at yourself to say, I'm young, I'm strong, I'm healthy. It's okay. It's not okay. Azrael, the angel of death, is waiting. The believer is that one who has hope and running after that to fix himself. But he's waiting that any minute Azrael may come to him. He is prepared for Azrael. So if we want safety and protection, then in the month of Rajab, it's very easy. If you let this month to fly away just like that, other months, then don't think that you are going to catch your ego easily again in the month of Sha'ban or Ramadan. If you're running to force yourself to catch your ego and to put it in the corner a little bit during this month, the month of Sha'ban becomes easier and the month of Ramadan becomes more easy. By next week will be Mi'raj. Then we are entering the holy month of Sha'ban, and in Sha'ban we have the night of Barat. In that night, the nation's destiny is rewritten again. The way that we have moved from last Barat to this Barat, everything will come for calculation to see if we ran toward our Lord or we ran towards this dunya. If we were running for this dunya, then more difficulty of this dunya is waiting for you. If you're running to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then more easy things are going to be waiting for you. We still have some days, inshallah rahman. And the words of the friends of Allah, they speak the truth. O believers, we will be questioned about how we spent these days, these hours, these minutes of our lives. Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anh said, I kept the company of the Sufis and benefited from their statements. Time is a sword. If you do not cut it, it will cut you. If you do not busy yourself with haqq, you will be busy with batil. So these are the days for the believer to be busy with haqq and to use his time wisely. And the biggest thing that a believer needs to be busy with, it is fighting against his own nafs. Not sitting in a room and thinking and going into illusion and delusion, but being, when you are sick, you are with a doctor. So, not with illusion and delusion, but being with a doctor of the heart who has the cure to the diseases of the ego, according to Allah and His Prophet. And being in the hospital that has the treatment against that ego and doing the work of fighting against that ego. Do we understand what that ego is and how dangerous it is? Without understanding that ego, we cannot understand Allah. We cannot understand our Rasul. And definitely we cannot understand our Shaykh. Sultan al-Awliya, Shaykh Maulana Muhammad Nazim Adil al-Hakkani, Qaddasallahu Sir, is saying, the ego always says, I have lordship. Lordship is only for Allah. We are servants, but we do not want to declare that we are such. Keep control of yourself and try to have control of your ego. May Allah forgive us and give us the power and the capability to control our egos. How many people have up to date died with their egos and were buried with their animal? When you agree to leave your ego, our Grand Shaykh will say, most welcome to our tariqat. To enter the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's presence, it is obligatory to vanish your ego. For purpose, do you think you are making zikr? For what purpose? Do you think you are making zikr, keeping to your awrat, praying at night and fasting in the day? Still the evil and dirty ego sits on your back, and with every step you take, it says, I am here, I am here, I am here. Therefore, you are on the lowest level. You can either bring out your ego or make your ego to vanish. The murid should decide between one of these two. If he leaves his ego, he will be with his Shaykh, with the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, with Allah Almighty. Our Nakshibendi way is not for everyone, because not everyone can hold. To become a Nakshibendi, you must wage war with and break down your nafs, making it to be zero. If anyone takes their nafs under their control, they will be called, come. Only a mindless person will insist to go with his donkey to the presence of the Sultan. You cannot. You must leave your nafs. When you say that you are finished with existing, then you can go. Millions of people are saying that they are Nakshibendi, but if you touch them just a little bit, they kick. If you come from behind or in front, they kick and bite. If you don't leave your donkey, you cannot become Nakshibendi, which is a hard discipline and nothing less. So you are not there. If you are representing your own nafs, there is nothing to take, and they might as well send you to the stable, to be with the horses and donkeys who are stamping on the ground and moving their heads around. Don't kick other people. Don't argue and fight with people, and don't interfere with other people's affairs. Be busy with your own nafs. Don't say that you are better than anyone. Anyone who says this belongs in the barn. You must accept all people, people of every kind. Allah is creating as He likes, and He can create anyone in any way. So you must look to the Creator and like what He has created. Allah liked it and created it, so you must say that you like it also. You must bring down your nafs. You don't know who is who and what secrets they have. If someone is tied to his nafs, we may easily see their bad side. But you must forget that and look inside for the jewel. Don't just accept the bad side and look to the reality of the nafs. Remember the jewel. Don't say that you don't like someone. If you look carefully, you have the same things too. Allah will say, you rejected that servant when you also had the same characteristics. You rejected him, but you couldn't even throw those same things away from yourself. Be busy to find the goodness in each other. Then the way to Allah becomes closer and shorter. You may reach. The doors will be opened for you. If not, you will remain with your nafs. Don't let your nafs get in front of you, or they will take you to the sewers to become a rat. All prophets invited people to a clean and honorable life. Your egos are like rats that say, what are we doing in clean water? Our water is sewage. Yes, this is the Nakshibendi way. This is the way of breaking your own ego and tolerating other people's egos and seeing your own faults and looking for the good in others. And through that way, yes, you are following step by step the way of Siddiq al-Akbar. That is the way of our Shaykh, SahibulSaif. So many people today will give khutbah about Miraj and talk about where the Holy Prophet ﷺ went and about the things that he saw in the paradises. Yes, it is good and it is important to remember the incidents of the Miraj, but how can we talk about Miraj while we still have that evil rat ego inside of ourselves? Does training the ego have anything to do with Miraj? Yes, definitely it does. Yes, it has everything to do with it, because with a disobedient ego, you cannot go anywhere. Sultan al-Awliya is continuing and saying, no creature is more powerful than our ego, and no creature is more useful also. It may take us from the lowest level to the highest. Yes, it is so dangerous and powerful, and its work is also important. No other means may take mankind from the lowest level to the highest. This is why the Prophet ﷺ said, your ego is your ride. Your ego is your ride. The Holy Prophet ﷺ was riding on his heavenly ride, the Burak, on his night journey. When he reached the divine presence, he asked Jibreel alayhi salam, is there also such a ride for my ummah? Jibreel alayhi salam answered, yes. And if they ride on it, they may also reach and arrive to what you are reaching. So then, that dangerous and powerful one, our ego, that is our Burak. But people do not understand, and they are not using it. All prophets were calling people in this direction. Do you understand? Allah Almighty hears everything, and He looks and sees who you are and what your intention or purpose is. When you are objecting, He understands that your ego is claiming to be number one through all creatures, and that it wants all its commands to be obeyed. When it asks, That is the secret to the hidden reality of your ego. When it asks, why did this happen? What it means through heavens is that servant is asking that lordship be for himself. He is not happy with the lordship of the Lord of the heavens, and he believes that he can think more perfectly. He says, what I am thinking regarding that situation is better than what had happened. Astaghfirullah. Those who always blame other people and who do not like their actions and attributes are the slaves of their ego. Someone who is asking for a way to perfection must begin to blame himself and look to his own imperfections without looking to the imperfections of others. Only an imperfect one may look and see imperfection around himself. Who has imperfection sees in everyone imperfection, except for himself. This is selfishness. You must try to correct yourself. When you have corrected yourself and reached to perfection, you will only blame yourself. We hope not to live for our pleasure, but for Allah's pleasure. We like life for Allah, not for our egos. No. If I'm asking to live for my ego, I would rather pass away. But for Allah, I like to live. So understand that without controlling this ego and learning how to ride on it, we cannot reach anywhere. And the dua of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that all of his nation be given a burak, that dua is fulfilled when we take control of our nafs and we ride on top of it, controlling that nafs. It is the greatest jihad. And the thing that the ego, the nafs, hates more than anything else, it is submitting to a guide. Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, Qaddasallahu Sir, is saying, the greatest struggle, the Jihadul Akbar, is to spend time with friends who have turned their faces to Allah and turned their backs on this world. There is no more difficult combat than this, for the very sight of them dissolves our ego and worldly desires. That is why they say that if a snake has seen no human for 40 years, it becomes a dragon, since it has seen no one who could stop the growth of its own evil nature. O believers, we should not let the snake inside of us turn into a dragon. We have been given the ni'mat, the sharaf of being in the association of the friends of Allah. We should not waste it, or else we will face a terrible questioning in this life and in the next. We should take lesson from the Mi'raj. We should take the lesson from Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq that comes from the Mi'raj. What did he do? He trusted his guide in Rasulullah ﷺ. Even when the people said that the Holy Prophet was crazy and that Hazrat Abu Bakr was crazy for believing him, Hazrat Abu Bakr said, Amanna wa sadaqna. And that caused him to become a Siddiq. We have to also learn to trust in the one who we are following. Trust. Without trust, one day without knowing it, we will lose the way. And then, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the ayat we read in the beginning, He can replace us with others who are better than us. May Allah save us from losing our grip on the firmest handhold, and may He save us from being replaced. Inshallah, we are making intention to spend these days and nights of Rajab and what is coming in Mi'raj, and in preparation for Barat, in being in the company of the guide who is training our egos, and to listen to the Sohbat and to apply it to our lives. May Allah forgive us. Ameen. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullahalazim alazim. La ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu qadir. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka kunna zalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka kunna zalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka kunna zalimin. Subhan qudusun rabbuna rabbul malaikatu wa ruh. Subhan qudusun rabbuna rabbul malaikatu. Subhan qudusun rabbuna rabbul. Inna dina indallahi al-Islam. Qam salat.